Simultaneous, prosecution's lawyer. I'd like to thank the court reporter and the court interpreter for the great job that they are doing. After listening to all the arguments from the attorneys, I'd like to outline the facts of this case so that you can get a better picture of what happened on the evening of September 1st, 2019. Carlos Rivera and his stepsister, Maria, were sitting on the front porch of his house located on 375 Newport Avenue in the city of Long Beach. They were talking, laughing, listening to loud music, and having a good time. Suddenly, a passerby got offended by their music and told them, "Turn off that fucking music. No one wants to listen to your damn Mexican rancheras." Mr. Rivera refused to lower the music, and a heated quarrel ensued between this man and Mr. Rivera. Maria told Mr. Rivera to get in the house because she had an inkling that this was not going to turn out well. But Mr. Rivera refused to go inside the house, and the confrontation became more intense. This man got on his skateboard and left, only to return 30 minutes later with two other dudes. It was then that Maria and Mr. Rivera noticed that these men meant business. So they started to head towards the porch door. The passerby and two other dudes stood there yelling and cussing at Maria and Mr. Rivera, and a few minutes later they started to leave. The passerby walked a few steps and then stopped, reached behind his back, grabbed a sawed-off shotgun that was hidden in his jacket, turned around and pointed it at Mr. Rivera. Maria sighed with fear, and before they were able to get in the house, this man shot Mr. Rivera in the back 3 times and bolted out of there along with the 2 other men. Maria panicked and screamed for help. One of the neighbors called 911, and shortly after, the ambulance arrived. Mr. Rivera was transported to the nearest hospital where the doctor on duty in the ER tended to his wounds. He relayed to Maria that Mr. Rivera had suffered great bodily injuries and that one of the bullets hurt his spinal cord, so this young man would be disabled for the rest of his life. I showed you exhibits and diagrams explaining the damage that was done to Mr. Rivera's back. The life of this 26-year-old man is completely shattered. He had his whole life ahead of him, and now it's broken. Mr. Rivera is a respectful man who always helped his family and was very active and full of life. And now he cannot even walk. His life as he knew it is all gone. And he won't be able to defecate or urinate on his own. The defendant is a well-known gang member who had a teardrop tattoo on his right hand. He also showed different traits that proved his gang affiliation to the Longo Avenue gang. For example, the tattoos that he had on his hand and torso, and the red and black bandana that he was wearing on the day of the shooting. This proves that he is undoubtedly a gangster of the Longo Avenue gang. The police were able to recover bullet casings from under the porch in a hidden sawed-off shotgun with the letters LONG embedded on the handle. This weapon was found hidden behind some bushes a couple of blocks away from the scene. According to the ballistics expert, the bullet casings recovered from the scene of the crime matched the description of the sawed-off shotgun that the defendant used to shoot the victim. The firearms expert provided an explanation of this dangerous and illegal weapon from the tip to the stock of the shotgun. The state does not allow to modify or alter a weapon. The district attorney's office was able to get a search warrant for the defendant's house and were able to seize a cell phone that contained photos of the defendant holding the weapon used to commit this horrific crime. They also had a sworn statement from Monica Blanco, who is another witness in this case. She stated that she borrowed the weapon from the defendant in the past. She recognized the sawed-off shotgun because she had it in her possession for a period of time, and because of the letters embedded on its handle.
Ortho line 4, please. Ortho line 4.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Mr. Rivera will never walk again. He will not be able to support his wife and children because of the damage caused by the shooting. We have the moral obligation to make sure that justice is served. After all the experts' testimonies and the sworn statements presented in this case, and the overwhelming amount of evidence, we ask that you find the defendant guilty of the charges of assault, illegal possession of a firearm, and attempted murder. Thank you.